guys, and welcome back here to the dev realm, and today we're gonna carry on our series. And if you guys remember what we did here in the last episode, that we start to play with the array values of the meshes and everything. Now what we're gonna be doing here today is to actually change our character mesh. Right, so without further ado, let's do straight away. So let's start here with the torso, right? What we're gonna do here is that now we have our player reference that we did in the last episode. We're gonna call the API change torso, right? We're gonna plug this one here. Great. And now if you guys remember, we need to get our mesh, right? How do we get our mesh? So we can simply get our torso here, and now we can get a copy, which will be the current option I have selected, and we plug that one down, right? I'm just gonna literally copy this value here, go back to this, plug it in there. That should still work exactly the same for the part where we are adding the stuff, right? Compile and save. Let's see if that works. So our torso is changing, which is really cool. As you guys can see, we're starting to have some feedback finally. Nice. So let's do the same thing for the which one's the hair, right? So the hair is exactly the same thing. So you get a player controller, call the API change hair. I'm gonna hold control and bring all those nodes back together, right? Put this guy here. Now we are going to get the legs. No, that's the wrong one. Hair. We're gonna get a copy and we're gonna put the legs in here. So wrong one, the hair. Just getting confused. Now that we have this, we can simply just copy this value, paste it in here, and drag and drop that. Now let's check if our character hair is changing. Nice, it is, which is quite cool. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is the last one, which is the legs. Coming in that, we're gonna call the API change. Which one is that? Legs. And we're gonna drop all that stuff here. Get the legs. Get a copy. It's gonna plug this one here. Plug this one that. That's great. Now we are going to put all that stuff here. Let me just do like that. I'm gonna copy this and paste it in here and move that one here. And now if everything works correctly, we should have our character preset for us. So now what we can do, oh yeah, there's one thing that I missed in here, because as soon as you click on the game, the mouse disappears. So let's just go back to here. Just gonna put that. I'm gonna create another instance. I'm gonna get the controller and show. Actually, what we need to do here is we need to cast to player. Sorry, cast to player. You know what? There's a better way of doing this. We don't need to worry about that. I just realized this. So to show the mouse, and what we gotta do here is literally go to your main folder, open up player, open up your controller. Once you start your controller, you're just gonna call a method called set show mouse cursor to true, and then you're gonna set a game mode and UI. And that will ensure that you can click on the buttons and stuff. We're just gonna put that widget in here. The player controller is gonna be self. Now if I press play, sorry, I forgot to do that. Now I have my mouse here, so I can select my character hair and all that, which is quite cool, as you guys can see. Nice. So now I have the hair, we have the torso, and everything. So what we're gonna be doing here now is that we are gonna add a field here called character name, and then we're gonna press a button called saved or something. And that will create a save of our character, And then once we are in the main menu, we can load all the savings, and then we can press play, and then we can play with the character or something, right? So it's quite, you know, a ride, but it should be quite easy to do. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we are going to open up here. This time I'm going to do something simpler. I'm going to get a vertical box, actually a horizontal again. That box, I'm gonna add inside this box here text field, text box, right? Wait, is that? Yes, is a text box. That's the one we want, which is gonna be a character name. Let's go put name for now. And then we're gonna add a button, right? And in here we are gonna call this button save something. And inside that we're gonna add the text, just saying like, you know, something that says what is it? Create here. We're gonna just call create or something, right? Now I'm gonna get my horizontal box. I'm gonna make sure that we align this in the middle of the screen. 0, 0. This is gonna be 1, 1. That's fine. Now I'm just gonna increase the size here to be something like that. And then what we're gonna do is that it's gonna fill. And the text here is also going to fill. Actually, no, it's going to be auto. Yeah. Horizontal box, you just want to make sure the position is 0. And the alignment is at 0.5. Yeah, so they get in the middle. So I can type here Mario or something. And then we'll create the name. Let me just check if I can change the color of this to be background color, text style, font, color. Can put it black. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just so you know, it gives some context as we type in the character name. Right. Nice. So now let's do the save part. Right. Cool. So to do the save thing is very simple. It's not complicated at all. It's just that we need to create a couple of things in order to be able to save our character correctly. And I do want to save a screenshot of my character as well. But first, let's just go create the structure to save our character here. Right. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go back to our, I'm going to close this for now. Back to our main, I'm going to right click. I'm going to create a save game object or folder. Right clicking here, I'm gonna go to blueprint class and I'm gonna search on all classes for save game, right? And I'm just gonna call SV modular character, right? And inside here, we're gonna create some variables that we can store our player selected parts, right? So we're gonna create, the first is going to be the torso, which if you guys remember is a type of skeletal mesh. Put in object reference. Now we're going to duplicate that 2 times and it's going to be the legs and then hair. Then the next thing that we need to do here is, of course, that we need our character name. Make sure that is name here. And then we're going to just duplicate this and we're going to call the character image, because I do want to take a screenshot of the character and then, you know, save and stuff. Now inside this method we're going to create a custom event called API save game or something. You know what, I'm going to just create as a function. I'm going to call fn save and then I'm going to create another one, fn load. You don't need to do necessary in this way, but I just prefer to have methods to do this kind of stuff. So when I'm saving the character, we are going to pass the legs, the torso, the hair, the character name, and then the character image, right? Oh, I done it on the load, so I'm just gonna do the here in then. So instead of being load and then save, I just changed the name of the function just so I don't have to repeat myself. Nice. So this is when we load, and when we save. Now when we're loading, we're just gonna literally return those values back to us, and we're gonna put something like that here, legs, hair, and we're gonna get our character name, and then we're gonna get our character image. Great. Alright, so how do we use this? Really simple. The way I like to create the save games is to actually add on the player controller. But you can do, you know, whatever way is the best you know, or easiest way for you. So on my case here, I'm gonna create on my own widget. So I'm gonna do that on the widget, but you could do this in the controller, you can do this in the player, whatever is easy for you to handle this. So let's open up our character creation, right here. Nice. Now what I am going to do here is I am going to create a custom event, and I'm going to call API save game. And for now, I don't think I need anything to load, which is fine. And when we save in the game, it's quite simple. We're going to get our custom, so we got our player reference, and then we're going to, I think it's get save or create save game object. Yep, that's the one we want to use. Remember the one we have just created called SV modular whatever. And then what we want to do here is that we want to call the save function. Here's going to ask for a couple of things like torso, legs, and all that. So first one, we can get the torso, and in here we can get skeletal mesh. Yep. And we are gonna do the same for the get legs. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this here, plug it in that. We're gonna get the hair. Cool, the hair. Now we are gonna just plug this one here, right? Cool. Now we do need to get our camera to save the character image, which I just realized I did one mistake here. Oh, skeletal mesh is deprecated. Okay, so we need just to get skeletal mesh asset. Okay, that's fine. You just get Unreal Engine recently has updated this skeletal mesh, so we're just gonna change the name here to whatever Unreal is complaining. Great. Save all that, plug it in here, and we're gonna put all those values in there. Now, I just forgot to do one thing. Instead of being a character of type name, I just want to make sure it's a string. Strings are easy and better to save. Now something, yes. Now this actually needs to be changed to string. This one here as well. Great. Yep. The way why it's complaining just because you need to do a refresh and then just put the nodes back. Great. Compile and save. Now on the load, I think, yeah, that needs to be refresh. I'm just gonna change that to a string. Change this to a string. And I'm just gonna refresh. I'm just gonna unplug those. Yeah, something like this. Great. Compile and save. Right, yeah, so let's do first the character name. Make sure the save is working. Then in the next episode we do the image, because the image is a little bit complex. Not too much, but it's a little bit complex to do. So the character name here, so every time we type, which means that on change, we're gonna get our text. Actually gonna just create a variable called character name, right? Make sure it's a string. And string, not name. And then we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna set that every time you typed. So now if I press print and get this thing going on, so every time I type, like, I should have a string coming up. Nice. Now I don't need these anymore, of course, so just get the player name or something. Now the next thing is that we're gonna put this one here, and let's do the thing where he saves. Let's hit the button and create a save game, so we can load that preset after, right? Now to do that, it's quite simple as well. We're gonna get our button here. Once you clicked, we're gonna call the API save game, which I already have, which is great. File and save. Now the way the save system works is quite simple. What you can do here is that you can create a save game object. You just call save game. And then we want to do save game to slot or async. So async is gonna run. So for example, what you can do with async is run something like, you know, we can just do a print here for now, saying saving, don't turn off your machine or something. And then once it's complete, we can put here completed. And now if you guys check here, it's going to ask for a slot name. Slot name is going to be the save name they're going to be using after to load this data. So in order to keep things simple, we are just going to call this ch01, right? Which stands for character 01. Now let's check if everything is working. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to get all our characters, locations, and stuff. We're going to call like a name, test. We're going to press create. You say completed. Now, if you guys open up here, Real Engine, what is it? Mario, blah, 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 Unreal Engine. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here, we're going to go to character selection, saved. Now if you go to auto saves, game, dash main, widgets, and then in here we have, oh no, that's the wrong one. Where is the, I'll just refresh this just to make sure that auto save ch01. Why is that? Let me just print if it's successful or not. Let's double check. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot to do a very simple thing. In here, on the save game object, just plug this one there. And now that will save your character because I didn't have plugged which class we want to use. So it's true, that means it's saved, which means that, you know, if I just clear that, now we have a new folder here called Save Games. I'm gonna open up this on my VS Code just to show you what the data looks like. Yeah, it's gonna look a little bit weird, but as you can see here, you have the modular character property casual. You get the mesh correct, you get the second mesh, so it is saving the data. And yeah, so what we're gonna do here, guys, is that in the next lesson we are gonna save the thumbnail, and then we can carry on with our series. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you guys in the next one.